What's up, everybody? My name's Parasite. Welcome back to the Jose Mourinho Challenge with Barcelona. Today we're going to be playing our first competitive matches with the Blaugrana. And to start it off, we're taking on our former team right off the bat. And that is, of course, Chelsea. They are currently still without a manager. Their interim manager right now is Neil Bath, but they are in the process of hiring a new manager. The current leading candidate for the Chelsea job is former man John Terry, who is currently the manager of Le Havre. In his career, he's been the Wimbledon manager, the Oxford manager. He actually worked with me as an under-23s coach at Sporting before he went on to be the manager of Zaragoza and now Le Havre. And he's the leading candidate for the Chelsea job, but it doesn't look like he's the one that's actually going to get it. In terms of the man that looks like he's going to be getting the job, it is Albert Roca, the Real Madrid manager. He is awaiting the work permit for the move, which means he's probably going to go there. He's already worked in Liverpool, so he's been in England. And it looks like he's going to leave Real Madrid to take over my spot as Chelsea manager, which means obviously my job's going to be replaced and our biggest rivals in Real Madrid are going to be without a manager. We are still in the transfer window and we're still working on doing a little bit more business, but we have had some transfers in and out that have been confirmed so far. Starting with the outs, Xaver Schlager was the first player to leave us. 34-year-old Austrian midfielder. I mean, his physicals are shot, his mentals are good, technicals aren't that good either. He's just not an exceptional player. Was on around 150K a week. I wanted him out the door. Didn't get much money, only 4.2 million, but saved some money on the wages, and we were able to replace him with a better player. The other player we let leave was Yanis Antiste, who is a striker that can also play on the wings. He's not bad. He's just not that good either. I mean, on decent wages, not super old, only 29, but I just didn't feel like he was Barcelona quality, and we needed to open up a little bit of wage room. Couldn't sell some of our highest earners, so I had to sell some of the more peripheral guys around the team, and that was Yanis Antiste as well as Xaver Schlager. They're currently the only two players to have left the club so far. So far, we have also signed two players. One of them, one of my former players at Chelsea, and one of them a former Barcelona player, even if he didn't actually play a match for the first team. We'll start with the former Barcelona player, and that is Marc Cucurella, the left back who starts at Brighton. We bought him from Newcastle for 4.5 million, where he transferred from Brighton for 52. He was there for quite a while, full-time starter for them. We didn't have a backup left back. Like it all. We didn't have a left-footed player on the team that could actually defend outside of Ponzi. So we absolutely needed a left back. And since we do have Ponzi, who's one of the best players in the team and doesn't really need to be rotated, he didn't have to be that good. I wanted his wages to be low. I wanted his transfer fee to be low. But I want to still have enough quality. And I thought that Marc Cucurella fits all of those. And he's homegrown at club. So I think he's just the perfect signing, even if he is 34 years old. Second signing is one I alluded to that might happen in last episode, and it has happened. James Boothby has joined Barcelona to replace Xaver Schlager, being an extra midfielder for us. We've got some decent midfielders, but they're almost all pretty old, so we needed some youth at the position, and we needed somebody quality off the bench. We didn't really have that, and so James Boothby, I mean, he didn't really get a look in much with Chelsea. He was always a guy I wanted to include in the team, but we've had so many good options. It just kind of speaks to the kind of step down it is to Barcelona, but he's still a really good player, really good passer, good vision, really good long shots, even if his finishing isn't very good, but he's got good dribbling, first touch. He's good physically, which is something we don't really have considerably in our midfield, and his mentals are solid as well. He is a very good young player with even more room to grow, 24 years old. The one downside is he's a foreign player because he's English and Brexit and all that. So he takes up our third and final foreign player slot, but I think he's just so good. It was worth it. And he wasn't insanely pricey. 43 million is not cheap, but compared to the price of the majority of the players that are Barcelona quality, it's pretty cheap because it feels like the average price for a player that gets into this first team is $100 million. We've also got some more business both in and out that could be done. Mohamed Kamara is a midfielder I've considered letting go. He's 32 years old. He's not exceptional. His technicals aren't very good. His mentals are solid. He actually got really good physicals for a 32-year-old. But, I mean, he's not exceptional. But I think he's probably going to stay. He hasn't really agreed to contract with anyone else. And so I think he's probably going to stay at the club. I think he's fine as a depth midfielder. The problem with him was he was kind of our best option off the bench before we brought in James Boothby. And so that was not good enough. He's not good enough to be that. But as a fifth, maybe sixth choice, I think he's fine. His wages aren't insane. The price we'd get for him wouldn't be that game-changing either, only $13 million. He might leave at the end of his contract, but I don't think that'd be the worst thing that could happen. But he's probably going to stay, even though we do have some interest still in letting him go. Edmond Tamsoba is a player that is more likely to go if he'll just agree a contract with someone else. We've had multiple bids accepted for him, and he's turned down every single contract. Well, because he's on 400K a week, and he's definitely not worth that. We're still trying to let him go. Currently, Sporting, actually, I put in a bid for him. Yeah, you've got a little bit of wage contribution, I think like 40 to 60K, which, I mean, compared to 400K, is not that much. I'd like to get that wage off the books. I'd really like to get that wage off the books. The money we get for him is decent for a 33-year-old center back. He's still not bad. He'd still probably start for us in our best 11, but I do want that wage off the books, and we can get a player that is better, around the same age, for less transfer fee and less wage. So I just think that makes sense, but it's all going to be dependent on whether Tapsoba will accept a contract. If not, it doesn't really make sense to bring in another center back when he's already on 400K. But if we can get rid of him, if we can get to those wages, we'll probably be bringing in another center back. We do also have one bit of business for a player coming in that will be a pretty big difference for us, and that is Luca Carna. We've accepted a transfer. We've accepted the contract. He's got some interest from elsewhere, but no one else has made any bids. Unfortunately, he's more interested in Arsenal and I think Juventus, but they haven't made a bid for him yet. And I'm pretty confident we can get this contract through. I think Luca Carna is going to be a Barcelona player, and that will be a game changer for us. We don't really have an elite striker at this team. Luca Carna is an elite striker. He is absolutely tremendous. We didn't play with him a lot at Sporting, but ever since we left, he's gone on to be an exceptional player for Sporting as well. Obviously, he knows the league. He started out in Spain. Does he have Spanish nationality? He doesn't. He's just Serbian, but he knows the language. He knows the country. I think he'll settle in very well and will be an elite goal scorer for us. Price isn't cheap. That's 40 million up front, but it goes all the way up to 102 million. The wage, I think around 400K, which again is quite a bit of money, but considering he's on 400K and how good he is compared to Tapsoba, who's on 400K and is not nearly as good of a player. So I think it makes so much sense. An elite striker is the one thing this team is sorely missing, and I think Luca Carna could be transformational for this team. But you might notice we've not done anything at goalkeeper, and that's not really by design. I want a goalkeeper. I still want a goalkeeper. Diego Kiai is still the best one at the club, and I just don't think he's good enough. 13 reflexes, 15 one-on-ones is fine, 13 handling. He's just not that good. We need a starting goalkeeper. We've got a couple guys we want, but we've run into a few issues. All the world-class goalkeepers that we definitely have interest in, guys like Giovanni Herrazo, are just insane in terms of transfer value. $400 million for Herrazo. Obviously, that's never going to happen. But we just don't have the money to bring in a guy of that quality. There's a couple other guys we're interested in that I would have a lot of interest in bringing in that we've, again, run into a few issues. The guy I want, the guy I really want, a guy I was considering at Chelsea if we didn't get Herrazo, was a guy that actually went to Sporting, Alejandro Jose Sanchez. He is Spanish. He is very good, very good. He's not Giovanni Herrazo. Very few are, but he is a great goalkeeper. He's Spanish. Like I said, he's a Spanish international. I think he'd be a really good signing for us. It says he's world class. I mean, I think he's kind of on the level there. He's got 17 handling, 16 run-on-ones, 16 reflexes, arrow reach, command of area, communication. He really has no negatives in his game. The problem is he joined Sporting in January, which, I mean, we're in August, a new season, but still he's technically just joined the club, which I think is bullshit, but we can't negotiate with him because he's just joined Sporting apparently, even though it's been in the previous transfer window. I feel like, is that supposed to be like that? I don't think it should be. If it's a new transfer window, you've not just joined the club anymore. So that's really frustrating. So we can't currently negotiate with him. I'm hoping by the time we get to close to the end of the transfer window, he'll have not just joined the club and we can do some business, because I really want Alejandro Jose Sanchez. He's the best affordable option really on the market. And the fact he's Spanish, it just makes so much sense. But another guy I'm interested in that's not as good, but you know, is definitely an improvement over what we have and would be pretty cheap, is Costas Zolakis. He is a Greek goalkeeper at Juventus. I mean, he's got good attributes, not quite as good, but they're good. Like in the areas you need, I think he's better than 2.5 stars. His handling is low, 13, but really good in the air, 18 arrow reach, 17 jumping reach. But his shot stopping, reflexes, one-on-ones, positioning, anticipation, agility, all really solid. Other mentals are solid as well. I think he's a perfectly fine goalkeeper. He's not a world-class option, but he's definitely a good stopgap option. But he also joined in January and has just joined the club, so we can't sign him either. So for now, Diego Chiai is going to have to remain as our #1 goalkeeper to start the season. The rest of the team, we are going with the back five, the 5-3-2. If Tapsoba believes, like I said, we'll probably bring in another center back. Obviously, Karna looks like he will be coming in. He'll probably take Laranaga's spot, I would assume. I mean, Nico Williams he's very good. Maybe just not as a striker. Well, no, we'll get to see. We'll have time to look to see if he's actually can play that role. But he's proven to be a goal scorer. And if you put Luka Karna next to him, I think we could be okay up there. But the rest of the team, Tapsoba is going to start this game, even if he might be leaving. I kind of doubt it, though. I feel like he's not going to agree a contract. Araujo in the middle, Neonzo on the right-hand side. I obviously wanted to let him go, but nobody's going to be paying $875K. So I didn't think it was going to happen, and it's not going to happen. Ponzi, a left wing back. Alexander Arnold on the right wing. Zaniolo in the midfield, another player I had some interest in letting go. He's on pretty high wages, $450, 33 years old. I offered him out. He immediately got very, very, very upset. And so we've promised to not sell him. But after that, he agreed. He was extremely upset that we might sell him. And then he's like, yeah, I'm going to leave at the end of my contract. What? that is some weird logic there, Zaniolo. But it says he's exploring his options. Like, there's two different things. There's exploring options, and then there's leaving on a free. But they're exactly the same thing. I don't know if I've ever seen a player exploring his options that has re-signed with his club. It just doesn't happen. So why is it even a thing? Next to him in the midfield, though, we're going with Nico. Adley, I think, is fine. I want to keep him around. His wages aren't crazy. He's 32. He's a solid player still. Happy to have him. Maybe better as a depth option, but for now, he's going to have to be a starter. And then Laranaga and Nico Williams up top. On the bench, for the Super Cup, you get a 12-man bench. We are still going to be playing the first game of the Liga season as well after this game against Almeria, but we're going to start off against Chelsea in the Super Cup. On the bench, we've got Adrian Leon, who's probably the best backup center back, but he would be a guy to also have some interest in letting go because he's foreign and he's not a starter. So I think it could make sense to let Leon go if there's any interest, which there hasn't been. Poro's the backup right back, happy with him. Cucurella's the backup left back. Boothby, Camera, and Oscar in the midfield. David Piers is currently our best backup striker, which obviously is an issue, but if we bring in Luka Karna, then Laranaga's a backup striker, and that's kind of issue solved. Backup goalkeeper, Sonny Layton, which, again, he's not very good, but hopefully he'd never have to play. We've got Stanislas, another backup center back, as well as Mark Guehi. Jesus Garcia, who's a youngster that can play on the wings, can technically play up top, but again, he has pretty low finishing. And we've got Javier Uribe, who's a backup deep-lying playmaker who might stick around the club and get a little bit of game time this season. So let's do this. First competitive match with Barcelona. And we're just taking on our former club who went unbeaten in the Premier League, won the Champions League. It should be easy. Well, that's a great start to my time here at Barcelona. We're a minute and a half in, and one of our best players, Trent Alexander-Arnold, is injured with a foot injury. Great. I mean, at least we've got a decent backup in Pedro Porro, but Trent is one of the best players in the team, one of the best right backs in the world. Good right backs are hard to find. So hopefully it's not that bad. Now our first highlight, we're 15 minutes in. Neither team has really done much so far. Chelsea are without a shot. We were without a shot on target. Marazzo now is going to have the ball. He's going to roll it out to Benoit Badiashile. He's going to play out to Mark Ruden. Looks like the formation and the positions are pretty similar to what we used at Chelsea. Mark Ruden. Looks like they might be playing a 4-2-3-1, though. I can actually see this if I go to opposition. Are they playing a 4-2-3-1 or are they playing a 4? They are playing a 4-2-3-1. Camavinga and Mariba as the holding roles, Mount as the attacking midfielder. So a little bit of a change, but pretty similar and pretty similar personnel as well. Chelsea, other than selling us James Boothby, haven't done any business so far. Reece James going to find Havertz on this right wing. He's going to find Bruno Thiago up top. We know how dangerous he can be. By Havertz, back to Reece James. Inside to Camavinga. We know how good he is. He's going to find Mason Mount with a through ball. Had a really poor season for us last year. He's going to put a ball in to Yeremy Pino, and there's a push. Why are you pushing 5'0" Yeremy Pino when he's attempting a header? He's very fortunate if he's going to win it. And if he does, it's going to have just no strength behind it. But no, we push him. And I think it was Pedro Porro replacing injured. Oh my, Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's a penalty. And Mason Mount's going to step up and he's going to score it. Great start here at Chelsea. Great start. We get one of our best players injured, and then we give away a penalty. Chelsea, with their first shot of the entire game from the penalty spot, goes in, and we're losing. And so we're going to go to halftime with that scoreline. 1-0 to Chelsea. Apparently, no matter where we're at, Portugal, England, Spain, the first shot on target just is always going to go in. Obviously, this is a little bit different of a circumstance. It was from the penalty spot, but it's still their only shot on target of the first half. And of course, they lead 1-0. First half of the second half, 52 minutes in, it's a ball to the back post. Fortunately, Diego Chiai makes a save. I mean, He should have. It was literally right down his throat, but he holds on to it. It's their second shot on target. Now we look to build from the back. He's going to play it out to Nianzou. He's going to find Adley. Going to find Pedro Porro. Might have to go to a 4 at the back, I guess, because we don't have a shot on target yet. 5 shots, 0 on target. We desperately need Luca Carna. Pedro Porro. Do something right. You already gave away the penalty. You are the reason we are losing. Zaniolo is going to go for a long shot, and it's not a bad one. It's a good save from the Chelsea goalkeeper, Giovanni Herrazzo, to keep him out, but we do have a corner. Adley's going to whip this in to the far post, it looks like it is. Nianzou is only going to head it across goal, and it's going to be headed away by Chelsea. And it looks like since that last highlight, we've done absolutely nothing, even though I've gone as attacking as, well, a lot more attacking. I want to say as attacking as possible, because that seems like a crazy thing to do against Chelsea, but I've gone to 4 at the back. I put Oscar on the left wing as a Rom Deuter because, I don't know. And Cucurella's come on for Ponzi, who was awful. Porro, a, what, 5.9 or something was all I saw. He's up to a 6 now. He's above a 5. But, I mean, I wish I could replace him, but he is the backup right back. And apparently he's probably going to have to be a starter with the Trent Alexander-Arnold injury, which is terrifying, considering he's the worst player I've had on a pitch in years. And we're going to lose. We have 3 minutes left to score against Chelsea and Giovanni Herrazzo. And with the front three we currently have, that seems like an impossibility. Larinaga, advanced forward at this point. We're going to a 4-2-3-1. Adley can be the attacking midfielder because he's just awful defensively. Be a shadow striker. Nico, box to box, I think he kind of can do. Cucurella on as a sub is going to go on attack. The eye's on attack. We're on attacking. Raise the tempo, raise the directness. None of this. I don't run a defense. It feels like I'm just wasting my time because nothing's going to happen. We all know that absolutely nothing is going to happen. Take long kicks, push all the way up, get stuck in. We're going to lose our first competitive game with Barcelona. And it's frustrating because it's one of only 2 shots on target, and it was from the penalty spot. And it was because of our backup right back who comes in because one of our best players gets injured. And we lose to Chelsea. Great start. Well, after that turd of a game, this is a great thing to come back to. Team leader meeting, because they all think we should give Larinaga a contract, even though he's only played 1 season on it. And it happens almost every single save. If one player has 1 good season, he doesn't care how long the contract is. He immediately needs a new one. That doesn't happen in real life. It just doesn't. Maybe once in 1,000 cases, it doesn't happen, but it always happens in FM. Porro wants to discuss club matters, I guess because I was angry at him for putting up a 6. Giving away the only goal and being just absolutely atrocious. I feel like he should accept some responsibility there. And Trent Alexander-Arnold injured. Just going fantastically. Everyone wants us to give him a new contract. He's unreasonable. Nico agrees. Araujo and Nico Williams don't. I don't care. Very unprofessional players. You are very, very unprofessional. I'm not going to give you a contract after 1 season. Because you scored 12 goals, however much it was. No, that's not how things work. All right, how bad is Trent injured? Before I get to that Porro thing, which obviously he's our only other right back. 3 to 5 weeks, not good. He's out a month, could be worse, but don't love it. And Porro, too harsh. Came on as a sub and somehow played a 6, giving away the penalty that lost us the game. Yet I'm too harsh. Nico, for his sake, you better talk him around because he might not make it out of the dressing room. Fortunately for Pedro, Nico's able to get through to him. And so, lovely start. Lovely start. Let's ignore that. It's a Super Cup. Who cares? Now we've got the Liga. Our first home match as Barcelona manager. And we're taking on Almeria, who, I mean, they're actually not a bad team. If we look at the season preview, they are projected to finish, once it comes up, 8th. So, not a bad side. Everything keeps getting better and better. We've had another month-long injury. It's Larinaga now. The only striker that can finish is now injured. Awesome. I was hoping we could get Luca Carna in before this first game to replace him, but unfortunately it's gone in the opposite direction. We might not be getting him at all because now Juventus are in for him. He literally had to be days away, if not hours away from accepting our contract, but now it's probably unlikely to happen because Juventus, I think, were favored over us. It was Arsenal who he really wants to go to. And I think Juventus was up there as well. I don't remember exactly. I hope not, obviously. I mean, I don't know if the Juventus deal's even been accepted. It kind of looks like it has, but I don't really know. Hopefully not, because if it has been, we're probably not going to be getting him because they can offer him good money. We probably have to up our contract offer if we have any chance of landing Luca Carna. And we kind of need to. We really need to. We have also sold a player. I didn't think it was going to happen, but he has accepted the contract offer. Edmund Tapsoba has gone to Sporting. So he's left. He took a massive wage cut. He was on 400 with us. He's on 165 at Sporting. We got 17.5 million for him, which is decent for a 33-year-old. Got him off the wage books, which would have been great if we could have, brought in Luca Carna. But if that doesn't happen, I am worried. We're going to hold off on our other signings to replace him until we find out what's going on with the Luca Carna deal, because that kind of changed our entire thought process going forward in terms of transfers. For this first match of the league season against Almeria, we are going to go with the 4 at the back. Obviously, we just lost Tapsoba, and our 4th best center back, Adrian Leon, is suspended. And of course, we've got Larinaga injured and Trent Alexander-Arnold injured. It's just so much good. And so we're going with the 4-3-3. Zaniolo's playing striker because, he can actually kind of finish. Can he play striker? We'll see. Oscar's going to play on the left wing, which I don't love because he has no physicals or dribbling, but he's going to play as a Raumdeuter. He's got a good passing. He's got decent finishing, decent long shots. I don't know. He's got to get good players on the pitch, and this is the way I'm going to do it. Williams is going to play on the right wing, which I think is probably his best role. I don't think he's a striker. The midfield, Boothby is going to make his debut. Adley next to him. Nico in the holding role. Backline of Ponzi, Nyanzu, Araujo, and Porro, which outside of Porro, who was just atrocious against Chelsea, is a decent backline. And then obviously Ponzi was also bad, but he should be good. And then Diego Chiai still starting in goal. With all the injuries, our bench is pretty god-awful. We've got 2 center backs there, Stanislas and Guehi. Guehi can play right back as well. He's kind of our backup right back right now. Cucurella left back is fine, but Uribe is going to have to be on the bench as a midfielder. We've got Camara and no one else. A couple of youngsters. Juan Pujol is 17 years old. He's not a striker either. He's a decent winger, left-footed, but can only play on the left wing, which I don't really love just natural wingers, just straight up wingers. I prefer them cutting in as inverted wingers or inside forwards, and well, he can't really play on the right wing, but he's got okay physicals. He's got really good dribbling and first touch for a 17-year-old. Okay passing. Not much else, but he's better than anyone else we have available. And then David Pears, again, can't finish, but amazing dribbling, some pretty good physicals, decent passing, decent size. So if anything, he could be a target man, I guess. Just not a lot on the bench. I'm a little worried. Hopefully we can see a little bit of progress in our first league match. Hopefully not concede our first shot on target and hopefully score a goal.
Does it make it easier to be without Trent Alexander-Arnold for this sort of match?
It's never easy to be without Trent, but we've got a capable squad here. We believe in all of our players, including Pedro Porro, who's going to step in today. We know he can step in against any opposition and perform to the required standards.
How is the mood in the camp right now?
I think we're in a pretty good mood. We're all confident, have great self-belief. Obviously, this is going to be kind of a learning period, and that applies to everyone at the club. But I think we all believe that we can come out of this even stronger.
Does Costina's absence make your job easier today?
I wouldn't say so. They have plenty of quality players at that club to be able to step in. I'm not going to spend time thinking about players that aren't available today. I'm focused on the players that are available, and they've got enough, even with Costina's absence, to give us a test today. Start our first highlight 11 minutes into the first match of the league season. It's going to start with Almeria looking to play out from the back. So far, we've had the better of the game. 5 shots, 3 on target, but we haven't seen any of them. Almeria yet to have a shot. Morales now on the ball. They're going to look to see if they can progress it slowly up the pitch. They're playing a 5 at the back with a defensive midfielder and 2 midfielders. So we got to worry about their players going forward, but we should be bullish today. We've got a good squad. See if our wide system can do pretty well. Obviously, we've been training mostly with the 3 at the back, but with injuries and players that have left, we've kind of got to go with the 4. Obviously, it's something we used a lot at Chelsea to great success. Can we see that same kind of success with Barcelona? First highlight, and it's an own goal. Of course it is. We still haven't been able to put a shot in the back of the net. It's been helped in by an Almeria defender, but it counts nonetheless. I'll take it. 1-0. At least Pedro Porro is already having a better game. Technically, he gets the assist, I guess. Second highlight, we're now about almost 30 minutes in. It's once again going to be Almeria playing off in the back, but just like we did at Chelsea, we're pretty good in these situations. We've got some pretty good center backs still, even with the players that have left. Zaniolo is going to find Pedro Porro, who finds Nico Williams playing on this right wing today. Back to Pedro Porro. He's already technically got an assist. He'll look near the edge of the area. Boothby's going to pick it up. See if he can have a good first game with Barcelona. Yasser Adli is going to cut inside. Going to find Boothby. He has a chance, but it's a very, very tame effort towards the near post, and it's pretty easily collected by the Almeria goalkeeper. This could be the last highlight of the first half. And it has been a dominant first half for Barcelona, but it's only a 1-goal advantage. And it's because of an own goal. We've had 14 shots, 7 on target. We've not been able to put any of them in the back of the net. We've relied on an Almeria own goal to have the lead right now. They've done absolutely nothing. We've been great defensively, but still have to be really worried about our attack. Obviously, we're without Larinaga today, but this team desperately needs Luca Carna. We have to bring him here to Barcelona. We cannot lose him to Juventus. If it means we have to pay him crazy money, so be it. Almeria at their first shot on target of the game, 65 minutes in. Fortunately, it was saved by Diogo Chiai. I guess technically it didn't count as a shot on target. Was he offside or something? He must have been, because it didn't even count as a shot. But they're going to be right back on the ball, down this right-hand side. We haven't seen them much in our half, and this is going to be one of the first times. Samuel's going to have plenty of time and space to find a ball, and he finds one to the striker. Fortunately for us, he hits it wide, because that was a very dangerous attempt. Once again, Nico Williams and Vicente Ponzi, the left back, have been absolutely awful, so they've both been substituted. We're now in the 85th minute. Not much has happened for a while, but we've got what might be one of the last highlights. And it's starting with us. Camera on the ball. Is going to put a ball into the back post to Araujo. But again, we can't even put it on target. Going forward, this has been a pathetic display. 22 shots, nearly 2 XG, 9 shots on target. And we've seen absolutely nothing from us other than them scoring an own goal. Camera on the edge of the area is going to find Pedro Porro. He's the reason we got that goal. And he's going to go down for a penalty. This is a for sure penalty. And we have some okay penalty takers. Not a whole lot of talent there, but we should be able to put this out in the back of the net. And we should be able to end this match. Adley's going to be the one to take it. Put this in the back of the net and see this game over. Score our first actual goal of the season. Come on. I mean, just the way things are going, this is going to be missed. Like, okay. I fully expected to miss that. Fortunately, he didn't. So it's 2-0. That should be it. So it looks like we're going to be getting our first win as Barcelona manager. It is over Almeria, but like we said, they're 8th in the projected table. 2-0 is an okay win, even though one of them was an own goal. But there still looks like one more highlight in this match. Is it going to be for Almeria, or is it going to be us extending the lead to 3, or is it just going to be a nothing highlight? Probably the latter. Almeria are going to look to bid off from the back, but Pedro Porro does win it. It's going to find Adley, who's playing on the right wing because we just don't have many options right now. Pedro Porro inside the camera. And just an awful ball looking for Boothby. And he gives it away. And now they are through on goal. Alarcon. Fortunately, they're able to get back and defend. Franco backed out wide to Juan Manuel. Is he going to look for a left-footed ball in? He is. Towards Alarcon. It goes past everybody. He's going to fall to Manuel Jesus. But he hits it over, and that should be how the game's going to end. But there's going to be one last highlight, and it might be, I don't think that's a sending off. It's just going to be a free kick. A deep free kick. Oscar's going to put this in to Araujo at the near post. He's going to bring it down, and he's got to do something here. He's going to go back to Oscar, looking for a ball to Piers. Come on at striker. He's got some size and a little bit of dribbling and not much else. Cucurella now, as we recycle this, is going to look to go down this left-hand side, see if he can put a ball in. We've got some size in there in Piers, and it's going to go over everyone, and it's a free kick. And that's how it ends. Just petered out. A pretty unimpressive showing. We scored a penalty and an own goal. Not super encouraging. At least we were good defensively. They didn't have a shot on target. Well, we get the win and the clean sheet, but defense has never really been an issue. In this save, scoring goals has been a major issue for quite a bit of it. And looks like things aren't going to change. We really need Luca Carna. Because if we don't get him, I don't really see where the goals come from. Nico Williams has had a pretty awful start to his Barcelona campaign under me, and no one else has stepped up either. We haven't seen anyone score an open play goal. Our only 2 goals through 2 matches have been a penalty and an own goal. We've got to score some goals. I don't care if you hold them to 0 goals every single game. You're not going to win unless you score goals. And you're not going to get lucky and get own goals and penalties that often. Got a pretty tough slate of matches to start this season. Up next, we got Valencia away from home. Then Deportivo, probably one of the easier ones, followed by Celta Vigo. And then Villarreal, Atletico Madrid, Sevilla, all in a row. We're also going to have some Champions League group stage matches in there as well, which is what we're going to come back for. Whoever we get drawn, it's probably going to be tough, knowing the draws we get in this series. But we'll take on whoever we get drawn in the group stage. Probably Atletico Madrid as well, and that'll be next episode. Hopefully for that one, we'll have Luca Carna. And hopefully at least one more top signing, because it looks like we need it. If you made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell. The links to all my socials and my Twitch are in the description. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.